What's going on, guys? It's your boy Dom Kemp, and today we're back with another sports podcast. It's been a while, so I do apologize for that. But guys, we are with some NBA playoff action, guys. The NBA season actually ended neither yesterday or the day before yesterday, so on Wednesday or Thursday, but I think it's on Wednesday. But other than that, guys, we're going to jump into these matchups, the round of 16 in the NBA playoffs, guys. It should be interesting to see who is going to get upset, as well as a lot of other things, guys. So let's jump straight into it. So we start off on the West Coast, guys. The West Coast were Houston, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Utah, Portland, New Orleans, Golden State and San Antonio have all made the playoffs. In the first matchup, guys, we do have Houston and Minnesota. Houston, the number 1 seed, and Minnesota, the number 8 seed. In my opinion, guys, I believe the Houston Rockets are going to win that series. And yes, it's going to be a pretty close one. I believe, though, that the Rockets are going to win the series 4-2. 4-2 series. Oh, wait a second. No. A best of 7. So 4-3. Whether it's 4-3 or even 2-4, right? Here. Oh, no. That's not impossible. Nor even... No, all I'm going to say, guys, is that the Houston Rockets are going to win, guys, in 6 games, okay? That is my opinion on that. It's going to be a tight matchup. It's going to be a defensive battle on both ends of the court due to the fact that Chris Paul is on the Rockets and Jimmy Butler and a couple of his friends like Karl Anthony Towns and the gang, as well as Taj Gibson off the bench. I believe he's off the bench. Will be playing pretty key roles in this series, but the Rockets are going to advance to the quarterfinals. Guys, Oklahoma City versus Utah. I am going to say this right now. The only player that Utah really have who has exploded this season is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, a.k.a. Rookie of the Year most likely. He is going to be a great player in the future, but guys, I don't think it's his time yet to win a playoff series. He might win a playoff game against the Oklahoma City Thunder due to their inconsistency, but guys, I don't believe they're going to. And actually, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to go down the records. Here's how here real quick. The records and stuff. Oh yeah, Western. Okay, here's how the Houston Rockets finished the season: 65-17, and they were the number 1 seed in the entire Western Conference. Then, guys, we're going to look at how Minnesota finished the season on their record, and they finished as the 8th seed, guys, with a record of 47-35. So not a bad year, but they definitely did try their best in that sense. So moving on to Oklahoma City Thunder, I already told you guys who I think is going to win that series. Houston is going to beat Minnesota in that series. In Oklahoma City versus Utah, guys. In Oklahoma City's record, they ended up finishing off at 48-34, second in the Northwest, right behind the Portland Trailblazers. So I have to give them credit there. They did definitely show up at the end of the season. Not a good start, but they did finish strong. The Utah Jazz, they were in the... Utah Jazz were in the... trying to find it. Jazz, hello. Oh yeah, there they are. Same record as Oklahoma City Thunder, 48-34. Right behind them, though, in that sense. So pretty interesting right there for them. Crazy stuff, guys. So Oklahoma City is going to win that series against Utah, in my opinion. Then we go to the next series. It's the number 3 seed Portland Trailblazers versus the number 6 New Orleans Pelicans. I believe the Portland Trailblazers are going to win that series, and the only reason I'm saying this is because of DeMarcus Cousins being out. If it was Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins on the same court all throughout the series, then I definitely believe they will have a shot at least winning a playoff series in general. So Portland actually ended up finishing, guys, first in the Northwest, right ahead of Oklahoma City Thunder and Utah, who are also in the playoffs, as well as Minnesota, who is in the playoffs as well. Pretty interesting right there. New Orleans Pelicans, they ended up finishing in second in the Southwest, 48-34, right behind the Houston Rockets and right above the San Antonio Spurs. When's the last time you have seen the New Orleans Pelicans have a better record than the San Antonio Spurs? Not in over 20 years. But it has finally happened due to the fact that Kawhi Leonard is actually still injured. in that sense. Interesting right there. And I think Portland is going to beat the New Orleans Pelicans. Next up, we do have Golden State, who are the number 2 seed this year, which is actually a shock, against San Antonio, the number 7 seed. Golden State ended up finishing first in the Pacific, 58-24. The Clippers finished second, and the Lakers finished third. Then San Antonio ended up finishing as the 7th seed, so they did not have the best of season, 47-35, right behind the Pelicans and right above the Dallas Mavericks, which of course it's no comparison in between the Dallas Mavericks and the Memphis Grizzlies. 22-60 for the Memphis Grizzlies win-loss, and for the Dallas Mavericks 24-58, guys. So not a good. That is a huge gap right there, guys. As long as you won over 46 games in the Southwest, you are good. Pretty much. So, guys, in that series, number 2 Golden State versus number 7 San Antonio, I believe the Golden State Warriors are going to win as long as their players remain healthy. Of course, in my opinion, the better overall coach is Greg Popovich, but of course, it's hard when you have pretty decent coaching, such as the Golden State Warriors, as well as great players on your team. So I think the Warriors are going to be winning that one easily, since Kawhi isn't there. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, guys. Eastern Conference side, we do have a new number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, but I still don't believe in them. The Toronto Raptors ended up finishing first in the Atlantic, 59-23, 72% win percentage throughout the season. So have to give them credit. They did show up, but guys, we're going to have to see if they can make some noise in the playoffs against the Washington Wizards, who finished 8th in the playoff race. The 8th seed, the final seed to get in. Washington Wizards actually finished second in the Southeast, right behind the Miami Heat, who actually ended up getting that opportunity to make some noise in the playoffs once again. That's another team I don't really believe in. They are a scrappy team, but I don't believe they will make it far. So, guys, in that matchup, in Toronto and Washington, I have to go with Toronto due to the fact that DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry are absolutely insane this year, but that's one of the things I see in the sense of they have to be consistent. Every playoff game, they have to be consistent. They cannot slouch on the Washington Wizards. John Wall and Bradley Beal will run up the score on you if you give them a chance. So I believe the Raptors will finally make use of this number 1 seed and get past the Washington Wizards. Moving on to a surprise that many of you are probably like, what the absolute heck? Cleveland, number 4. The number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. When's the last time a LeBron James team has finished number 4 in the conference? I don't know. But Cleveland, guys, number 4. And then Indiana. They're going to be playing Indiana. It seems like they play every single year in the first round. That's what it seems like pretty much. It's crazy to think about. Even when Paul George was in with Indiana, Cleveland actually finished first in the Central Conference ahead of Indiana and Milwaukee, who also are in the playoffs. Indiana, in this sense, actually finished right behind Cleveland, 48-34. Cleveland, 50-32. Not the greatest record, but they did definitely have an opportunity and clinched the playoff spot at number 4 seed. So, guys, in that matchup, I believe that LeBron James is going to get past Indiana with ease, even though they have a couple talented players such as Victor Oladipo, who's surprising everyone this year, might be most improved player because he definitely is showing up. That is his team. So I have to give him credit there. But, guys, I believe Cleveland, they will show up when it counts. And like always, a LeBron James-led team, let's just be honest, it gets past easy teams. Moving on, we go down to the Philadelphia 76ers, who finished in the 3rd seed, and the Miami Heat in the 6th seed. Philadelphia actually finished 3rd in the strong Atlantic Conference with Toronto and Boston. Not so much with the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks. They weren't that great this season. So, of course, Philadelphia kind of snuck in, even though they did have a 52-30 record. So, better than Cleveland, which is surprising to see a great turnaround season from Philadelphia against the Miami Heat. And Miami, guys, right here, 44-38 in the Southeast. First place in the Southeast, guys. Have to give them credit. And only one game separated them and Washington to that top spot in the Southeast Conference. So, pretty interesting looking at that. Have to give them credit. But between you and I, guys, let's just be honest. Philadelphia versus Miami, it's going to come down to Game 7. I have a feeling. There are going to be players who will be playing inconsistent on a consistent inconsistent on a consistent basis. That makes perfect sense. But guys, something's going to happen where, of course, one team is going to come down to the last seconds. The last seconds, somebody is going to make a mistake, and I have a feeling that it's going to be the Miami Heat. Haven't been in the playoffs a while. Yes, they do have Dwayne Wade back, but guys, let's just be honest. Trust the process, and everybody keeps on talking about it. The Philadelphia 76ers definitely have an opportunity to trust that process. I think Joel Embiid is back. Please correct me if I am wrong. I'll actually check just to make sure if Joel Embiid will be playing tomorrow night. And of course, guys, I will be covering each of these games just to let you guys know how they finished and what actually happened. So guys, the playoffs actually do start tomorrow, so that should be exciting. But I do believe the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to get past the Miami Heat, not with ease, but with a struggle in the first round. And then they'll get bounced out in the quarterfinals against Boston or Milwaukee. So there you go there. Boston versus Milwaukee. I think Kyrie Irving's out for the rest of the season, isn't he? Yeah, so I don't really believe in Boston now, especially since Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving are both out for the season. But against Milwaukee, though, Giannis Antetokounmpo, let's actually look at where they both finished. Boston finished second behind Toronto, 55-27. And Milwaukee actually finished in third behind a strong conference, with Cleveland and Indiana finishing above them in that sense. So I have to give them credit. But between Boston and Milwaukee, guys, I'm going to be honest, guys, it's not Boston's year. And the reason I say that is because of this. If they had Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, it would be an entirely different story, especially since they always play together, and that would actually help with the chemistry if they played all the time together throughout the regular season, but they did not. So I believe that Kyrie Irving is going to be upset, but that's what happens when the injury bug hits you right in the mouth. So pretty crazy right there in that sense, guys. Just wanted to let you guys know about this playoff race. I think Milwaukee is going to win. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think it's his time to make a playoff run, but he will get stopped by a LeBron James-led team in the conference finals, I believe, due to the fact that Milwaukee is rebuilding just like Philadelphia is rebuilding, and I don't believe in Philadelphia in anything other than the round 16 against Miami because they're a young team and still learning. It's same with the LA Rams. The same exact thing. Made the playoffs and ended up losing. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense. It really does make sense. A young team, it's hard. It's hard to play a perfect game, and that's one of the things. No one can play a perfect game, but they can play near perfect to make it to the final, guys. So, guys, of course, I will be coming back with some more content tomorrow when the games actually happen. I will be letting you guys know. I will be covering the games as well as, of course, talking about them tomorrow. This is something that I've been looking forward to, guys. I'm sorry that I wasn't really uploading during the regular season of the NBA season, guys. It's just a long season. It's like trying to cover baseball. It's like trying to cover all these sports that have long seasons and that nobody watches every game, so that's the thing, guys. I've saw highlights and stuff like that, but guys, that's the thing. The playoffs are an entirely different thing, so it doesn't matter if you're the number 1 seed or the number 8 seed. You can bounce one of the big dogs out of the playoffs. And guys, it's going to be interesting to see who actually squares off in the quarterfinals. Hopefully my predictions are correct, guys. If they are correct, that would be fantastic. But if they aren't, that's okay too, guys. That's why they are predictions right before the action happens. So I thank you guys for your support on this channel. We are at 44 subscribers, 6 more until 50. The big 5-0, guys. That is what I'm really excited for. So I will definitely be covering the playoffs as well as, of course, injury updates and stuff like that. That's my goal this weekend, to be on top of things. So thank you so much for your help, you guys, with the channel. And those of you who have been sticking with me, thank you, guys. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace, guys.